It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 237. Hello, everybody. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, no doubt about that. Hang around with us long enough, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. Daniel, welcome back to the studio.
I'm here.
Yeah, glad to have you on board, as always. Just got back from another camping trip.
Yeah, I know.
I'm all pumped up and excited about it, and I got 3 more already booked.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to be talking about that today, including what I went through this last few days up on Lake Sidney Lanier. Yes, I went back. So, great episode of the Happy Camper Radio Show is coming your way. I want you to stick around for it. Always a pleasure to have you on board.
Happy Camper Radio.
And the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like Daniel and you and me and everybody else. Find us in the iTunes Store, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Odyssey, Samsung, and Player FM. Of course, if you want to be a part of our studio audience and watch Daniel and I in action right here in the studio, you can do that too. Just check out our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button, that little red button right down here in the lower right-hand corner. Yeah, okay. Well, Daniel, I got to say, oh, wait a minute. We got a couple shout-outs here. Yeah. Okay, let's say hello to Shelly Arnold and also to R.E. Campbell. They both like us on Facebook. Thank you also very much. Glad to have you on board. More importantly, thank you for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Would you like to be on the show with Daniel and I? Would love to have you. Get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. Well, Daniel, the RV is getting its use.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm not letting it sit idle.
No, you're not.
Not for very long. But Daniel, like I talked to you about the very first day that you saw me with that. Okay, I don't want to go out there and bounce around from campground to campground all at one time. All right, because then it's not going to be fun anymore. I want to stretch this out. So, yes, I'm going to go out for a little bit. I'll come on home, plan the next trip, go on out. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, I had a great opportunity to go camping here this past week. This time I went back to Lake Sidney Lanier, as I said, and I went up to the Duckett Mill Campground. Daniel, this is a beautiful campground. It's part of the Army Corps of Engineers, and you can spot these campgrounds online, like I said, especially some of these ones. If you go to recreation.gov and you don't see any pictures available, someone in the camping world has been there before and was nice enough to take you on a tour through the park and show you each and every individual site. And, there's a couple of these campgrounds I've already booked. Was that same situation. I didn't have an opportunity to see the campsite online at recreation.gov, but I went to YouTube and I spotted somebody who went to the campground there. Nice. And I said, wow, that's a beautiful site right by the lake. And sure enough, I had 3 days open and 3 days were available, and I went ahead and booked it. Now, the exciting part, Daniel, is, just this past week, before I booked these 3 campgrounds, in the mail, I got my brand new America the Beautiful Senior Lifetime Access Pass.
I'm jealous. You told me about that, and I was like, "Wow!" I tell you what,
this is. Well, you'll get there, Daniel.
I hope so.
Yeah, if you're 62 years and older, you can go ahead and get one of these access passes. Pay a one-time fee, and it's yours.
It's super cheap. I can't believe how much you were getting.
I'm getting 50% off all my reservations.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So in a couple of weeks from now, Daniel, I'll be back out there again. My first destination. I'm going back to where it all got started. I'm going back to the R. Schaefer Herd Campground on West Point Lake.
All right.
The last time I was there, Daniel, was in the summer of 2000 with my brand new Lance Squirelight 165 truck camper.
Oh, yeah, that was that picture you put on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay,
the truck was fairly new back then,
It was pretty shiny.
Okay. And get this. I'm going back to site number 88.
But you got to take a picture.
Site.
Yeah, you got to take a picture now and then.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. So, and that's one of those campgrounds there where, you got a lakeside view just about anywhere that you go ahead and book. I'm just feet away from the lake. And I sat back after I went ahead and booked that. I got the last 3 days available. Okay, in the month of August. So I'm going to go ahead back there, and I can actually just, within maybe 10, 15 feet, I can walk right down to the edge of the lake. And if the weather is nice, like it was back then, I'll be able to take my lawn chair, set it out there, have Sadie right there by my side, and just watch the sun go down, enjoy that cool breeze.
Yep.
And I've been on pins and needles ever since then. Okay.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a little bit of a drive. It's about 100 miles from here.
Yeah.
And I'll get down there, get set up, and it's going to be 3 days and 4 days, 3 nights. And, I went ahead and booked it with my lifetime access pass, Daniel. I'm going down there for $45. Okay. It's going to cost me more in gas to get there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can live with that. Gas prices hopefully are coming down a little bit at a time. Maybe they'll come down to a reasonable amount for all of us. But yeah.
Well, here's what I think. Like, you've been to this place before, and, it brings back a lot of memories, and, like, there's something about going back to a certain campground or whatever year after year after year. That's kind of how it was for me when we went to FDR. I was like, oh, I've been there. We did this here. And the memories just flood back, and it just makes the experience that much better.
You will remember these campgrounds, Daniel.
Yeah, totally.
In fact, one of the videos that I watched on YouTube, it's funny you mentioned that. This lady went ahead, and her and her husband were there, and they had this antique travel trailer.
Okay.
I was just, wow, I was fascinated by it.
Yeah.
They probably had it all their lives. And
probably.
Took really good care of it. But there was one portion of the video when they're, going through the park there, and they're showing the individual sites. The husband was far ahead of her with his notebook. And she goes, there's my husband up there. He's walking around. He's writing down the sites he likes. So, yeah, people will come back.
Yeah.
If they like it, if it's a good campground, they will come back. The nice thing about it is here, it's becoming fall. The weather's going to start
it was
cooling
nice
off a little bit.
Too. It was a little windy and nice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't even have the air conditioner on in my bedroom last night.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it cooled off a bit, and I'm hoping that continues here into the fall. But, these campgrounds are going to start closing down here pretty soon in the metro area, and probably some other places around the country. You'll have some recreation.gov sites maybe available in like California, Texas, and Florida. Places where it's a little bit warmer. But, when the weather turns ugly and it gets really too cold, they go ahead and they shut these campgrounds down for a few months. And I can understand that. But that's not going to stop me because, one of the things I encourage people to do all the time, even though recreation.gov has a lot of great campgrounds and they're all over the country, when they shut down, don't overlook your state parks.
Yeah.
Because many state parks do operate year-round, and I don't want you to forget about the private campgrounds, too. There's a lot of beautiful private campgrounds in every state across the country, including your family-oriented KOA campgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
So you definitely want to go ahead and patronize those businesses right there. And it's always good to get the family out and go camping. So I'm going to go down to our Schaefer Herd campground here. It's already booked. Got my reservations in place, and when I come back, I'm going to go ahead and relax for about a week.
Yeah.
Take it easy, and then I'll be out the door again. This time, Daniel, I'm going to go over to the eastern part of the state.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to the Petersburg campground on J. Strom Thurmond Lake.
Okay.
And I got a beautiful site there. Be gone for a few days. Come on back, and I can't help it, Daniel. I've got to go back to Lake Lanier. Yes, I've got a reservation at the Bolding Mill campground this time.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's also on the northern part of the lake, not very far from the Duckett Mill where I stayed.
Yeah.
And, Daniel, while I was at Duckett Mill, I had the pleasure of I have a very good friend of mine that I work with a number of years in the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. His name is John Gardner.
Okay.
Him and his wife, Laura, surprised me there at the campground.
Oh, my gosh.
They came by, and I hadn't seen John in a long time.
That's awesome.
I tell you, that really was the highlight of my 3-day trip. Now, even though they came a little bit later in the evening and our visit was cut short, it was either that or he would have to leave or get locked inside the campground.
Yeah.
Because at 10 o'clock at night, they shut the gate.
Yeah.
But, John, I'll tell you what, I really had a great time visiting with you, even if it's just for a little bit. But,
I want to ask, this last trip, what happened to the rain? How much rain did you get? Because you're the rain man.
Yeah, I know that, Daniel.
What happened?
I was quite surprised. There were a couple raindrops and a few claps of thunder, but that was about it.
Aha.
Yeah.
The curse is over, right?
No, I
Can
don't.
we call it over?
I don't think so. I'm not going to get off. I'm not going to get off the hook that easy. Yeah. But Duckett Mill Campground was a beautiful campground.
Yeah,
and I had the opportunity. Sadie and I went out for a brief walk.
Yeah.
And the only problem that I had with Duckett Mill, all right, was unlike the old federal campground where I went to prior to that, the Duckett Mill Campground is pretty much surrounded by woodline.
Okay.
Almost every campsite in the entire campground, you had woods there right at the edge of the shoreline. So you never really got a good, wide open view of the lake.
Okay.
You could go down, to the very edge of the lake if you wanted to. But, I like sitting up there on shore. And you didn't have that opportunity. There was only one campsite in the entire campground that I saw where you could get an open view of the lake. And I guarantee you that's going to be booked up all the time.
Oh, definitely.
So, like I said once before, if you like a particular campsite, chances are other people are going to like it too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, you got to go ahead and get your reservations in early and make sure you have the available time. And Daniel, I know you're working like crazy right now, so who knows when you and I and Deidre are going to be able to get together for a camping trip again.
Yeah.
But I'm sure down the road it's going to happen.
Yeah, so. Eventually. Something's got to break.
So what are your vacation plans? Do you have anything in the books or anything planned right now?
Well, in 2 weeks we're going to Dragon Con, of course, and hopefully with Luke, hopefully in October, we'll be going to Cumberland Island and maybe staying there for a while. But that's all we have now. But, if I can ever find an opening somewhere, I'm down for going somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's kind of hard to plan because, like, with my work, in the beginning of the year, you plan 1 week that you have to put in for 2 weeks, and then another one you have to put in for 1 week. And then after that, it has to be at least 30 days back. And it's very hard to plan stuff like, 2-3 months in advance, and you don't know if you're going to get it. So it's just kind of tricky, and a lot of people are out, and we had 4 people quit last month. So I've been working, that's why we didn't do an episode last week. So, and, I'm awake today. I had my 2 cups of coffee and everything, but
I got you beat. I have 4 already.
Oh boy.
It's just afternoon too.
But I don't know, coming here though, and seeing that camper and hearing your stories, it kind of calms me down. It relieves my stress. I don't think about work, and it's kind of like going camping, but not really. But listening to the show and doing the show, I don't know. It makes me want to go out there, and it makes me remember all the camping trips that I've had in my past, and I really love doing the show, and it's like a mini camping trip,
You're right, yeah, and I can understand, you're trying to get some time off, and then having your wife get time off around your schedule.
Yeah,
that's got to be tough.
Yeah,
so yeah, I understand, but. One of these days, you're going to have something planned far in advance, and you're going to say, hey, we're going to be going here. Do you want to join us? Just like we did down at the FDR State Park.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll make that happen.
We will.
But, like I told you before, I want to take you and Deidre down to West Point Lake.
I'm down.
And we'll make that happen again.
That's near Columbus, right? I think I've seen the river that goes into it, but I've never been there. I know that's down near the FDR area.
Right. It's a stone's throw away from the FDR State Park. So, yeah.
I'm excited. I'd love going down there.
From being out with this new RV on 2 camping trips already, one of the things that I found out, it is more exciting to set up camp with that RV than it is to set up with the tents.
Yeah.
All right. And there were a lot of tent campers up there at Duckett Mill. In fact, there was folks with an RV that was parked next to me, and the day after I got there, they pulled out, and some folks there with a big old tent moved right on in. And the folks that were tent camping, they lucked out.
Yeah.
They didn't have the rain pounding down on them. But there were a couple times, that I was sitting out there and I could hear the rumble of thunder. And say, oh, time to go ahead and put the lawn chairs in the back of the pickup truck. And you just never know when the rain's going to come there. There were some ugly-looking rain clouds, but it didn't really dump anything on us.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have an opportunity to meet a lot of folks there.
Yeah.
One of the things about Duckett Mill is the campsites are pretty much spread out.
Okay.
You know, you don't really have a neighbor parked up next to you. You've got some trees in between.
That's kind of nice, though.
It is, you know, and one of the things about it, on the positive note, is it's well shaded.
Yeah.
You know, and
nice.
if you haven't been to places like Georgia or Florida, you know, it gets hot down here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't want to be out there with that rain pounding down on you like it is. But man, I'll tell you what, I had a blast, and getting set up was a breeze.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these campsites you go into, they're pretty level. There's concrete on leveled out, and all you got to do is, you know, just get your RV set up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of fun doing that.
And some of those you could just pull through. You don't even have to back it in or anything.
Yeah, in fact, the one over at the Bowling Mill Campground is a pull through, and I got that site. It's going to be site number 23.
Nice.
And yeah, that's going to be.
I think you're doing it right. You know, you're just, you know, dipping your toes into the RV life. You're not going too far away, but I could see in the future you'll be going to Tennessee, Alabama, you know, Texas. You were talking about going to Texas one day, but you know, you're doing it right. You're just feeling it. You're getting your feet wet with it, and you gotta work out all the kinks, and then before you know it, you'll be going to the Grand Canyon.
I don't know about that, but yeah, hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, those are what I call, Daniel, long-distance camping trips. If they're over 100 miles, it's long distance.
Yep.
But, yeah, I would like to, you know, take a drive out west sometime.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful
RV
out there. It's a whole nother culture. It's a whole nother. I wanted to talk about this when we did the episode after I went to Vegas. So they have this thing, I forgot what it's called, but basically you rent a like a travel van or whatever, and you would pick it up like in Washington, and you would drop it off like in California. It was kind of like a U-Haul thing, but for campers, and it was just, you know, like a Class B camper van, and you just rent it and just go all the way down the coast, and you know, it would design like a itinerary for you to stop at certain camp spots, and you just go to certain areas. And I thought that was really cool. And there's just so many little programs like that, you know, people don't know about it. It's just, there's so many different ways to experience the outdoors. It's really awesome.
No, those type of vans, they're like camper vans?
Yeah. Okay. Class B.
Mm-hmm.
Like Class C is like the Winnebago thing, and Class B is like, it's kind of like those work vans.
Okay.
But it's decked out for, you know, for camping.
Now, my brother, my baby brother, has got an RV. He got his before I did. He's got a Coleman, which is very nice. He just emailed me the other day. He says, I've taken my 10th trip already.
You trying to catch up, Skip?
I don't know if I'm going to catch up.
Got to outdo little bro.
That's okay, Daniel. I've got all the time in the world.
You do.
So, yes, I can do that. My other brother, he's converted his van into like a camper van.
Oh, nice.
And
awesome.
He sent me some pictures of it, and I'm sure, you know, the three brothers are going to get together sometime, and he'll be in his van, and me and my brother will be in our RVs.
Nice. So, that's awesome.
Yeah. But, you know, I pretty much ordered everything that I needed. You know, I keep the RV well stocked.
Yep.
And being the fact that I got my puppy dog Sadie, your buddy, with
buddy.
me, you know, I'm very, very observant of her and her needs while, you know, we're camping. You know, she's an older girl, and I want to make sure that she's well taken care of. She's just got back from the vet, got all of her shots and everything, and you know, she's got her medication that she needs. And one of the things, you know, especially down here where the temperatures are very hot, you want to make sure that your dog has plenty of liquid. You want to make sure you have plenty of water. I have at least 10 bottles of bottled water inside the refrigerator and about 16 bottles up on the shelf.
Okay.
Now, when I get to these campgrounds, even though I have a water filter on the line that's coming from the city water going into my RV, I feel a lot more comfortable with her drinking bottled water.
Okay.
And I have like 4 big gallon-sized bags of ice in the freezer that I bring. I actually thought about buying an ice maker for it. But, you know, then, Daniel, you know, once you buy something, you say, wow, I want to get this, I want to get that. You're adding more weight to everything. Yep. You're taking up more cabinet space than you really need. So I come to find out, you know, if I'm carrying 4 bags of ice in my freezer, I'm bringing ice home. So I really don't need to get an ice maker.
What about your food situation? I know you're trying to perfect. You always do too much. Have you kind of figured that out? Have you tweaked it so it's not so much it's just right? Because I feel like what you want to do is you want to pack as much as you absolutely need, and you just bring everything back empty. I mean, that's kind of the goal. So how's that going?
Well, I've only had 2 camping trips with it already, so
Yeah.
I'm still working on that. Okay. I've got a lot of dry goods that I keep in there. The perishables, naturally, I have to bring inside the house.
Yeah.
But just like the past 2 trips, I carefully look at the menu a couple days ahead of time and say, all right, here's what I need, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But the problem is, Daniel, sometimes I don't eat breakfast. Sometimes I don't eat lunch. All right. And even though that's really not the way to be, I got to make sure I have my coffee, though.
Obviously.
Yeah. There's plenty of coffee and plenty of cream and plenty of, sweet and low and things like that. Yeah, I've got to have that.
There's nothing better than, nice morning. Maybe there's a little dew. You got your coffee. You're just sitting out there, maybe in a hammock or maybe in a lawn chair, and you're just listening to nature. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. It's just
well,
so
Daniel,
relaxing.
one of the things that I talked to Deidre about this here the other day when I spoke with her. This last camping trip, I didn't bring my outdoor grill with me.
Okay.
I didn't bring my folding table with me because I didn't use it for my first camping trip in the old federal campground.
Oh, okay.
Of course, it rained a lot. I had it covered up with a tarp.
Yep.
But, everything that I cooked, I prepared indoors.
Okay.
So, I didn't bring it the second trip, and I realized, if I'm going to cook outside, I'm going to want to have guests.
Yep.
So, if I have my brothers there, if I have you and Deidre there, and I can entertain, I'll be cooking outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're tweaking it. You're making, subtle changes. Okay, if I go with them, I'll bring this. I'm telling you, you're going to have this mastered. You're going to have everything fine-tuned. It's going to be great.
Yeah, well, one thing also at the Duckett Mill campground that I noticed that the Wi-Fi was very spotty.
Okay.
Yeah, and even though I have an outdoor antenna on this RV, TV reception was a little bit messed up.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm not into the electronics like you and Deidre are, okay?
All right.
I really do want to enjoy the outdoors, but, if Mother Nature wants to go ahead and dump her worst on me,
right.
I'm going to be inside the RV, and I'm going to want to be entertained. So, what I've done is I've got my portable DVD player, and I've got about 60 or 80 DVDs that I'm bringing. I've got a little pouch with them all in there, okay? And I'm also upgrading my cell phone service next month, and I'm getting unlimited data. So, I can go ahead and stream some movies. And
there you go.
Provided I got some good Wi-Fi service.
Yep. What I like to do, and there's certain ways to do it, is like if I'm going on a plane trip or something, like I know with some of the services like Netflix, I know you can like download a bunch of episodes. So say you're watching a series, you can download 4 or 5 episodes, and then you don't have to worry about anything. So, that's an option too. Yeah,
but there's a lot of great camping ahead, and will be a lot of things to talk about here when I get back from my next trip. Yeah,
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous, but I'm excited. The only thing I'm jealous about is the free time because you can't really put a price on that. But I mean, stuff comes and goes. But
Daniel, I understand how you feel, all right? Because, I think back of when I was your age, and I was working in the sheriff's office, and I had a lot of good friends who I saw walk into retirement. And they were camping, they were going on vacation, they were doing a lot of fun things.
Yep.
And I'm saying, oh, my God, I've got 16 more years of it all.
That is like me.
I know exactly how you feel, but today, here I am in that position. I'm looking back and I'm saying, wow, that was almost like yesterday.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
The time will come. And,
I hope so.
I hope I'm still around when that time does.
I do too. That's what I'm afraid of,
Well, right now, Daniel, it's time for our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
Daniel, this week we are going out to the state of Mississippi. We're going to go to the Granada Lake, the North Graysport Campground. Whether it's fishing, boating, camping, or picnicking, Granada Lake has something for everyone. It's located near Gore Springs, Mississippi. The North Graysport Campground is far enough inland from the lake to avoid the sounds of motorboats, but close enough for a short drive to fishing, boating, and swimming. Check out all the information right there on their website. I'll have a link to it all week long on happycamperradio.com. And, folks, if you haven't already got yourself a recreation.gov account, it's very easy. Once you go to the website there, look for that little button up in the upper right-hand corner. It says sign up. It's free of charge to do that. And believe me, I use it now all the time for making my camping reservations. And I've never seen a website that works so smoothly.
And the government.
Daniel, you pick out, you find the available days. You find a campground, you find the available days. If it works into your schedule, you go ahead and book it online. They shoot you a confirmation, they shoot you a receipt, and you're all booked and ready to go.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. But hey, check out all the information on their website if you happen to be in the Mississippi area near Coffeyville, Mississippi. It's the North Gray Sport Campground. And it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
On happycamperradio.com.
And if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or this guy sitting right across the way,
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And be sure to include a link to the campground website. Well, Daniel, thank you so very much for coming out here on a Sunday morning. Yeah. Woo. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be doing it again real soon.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not going to be at a campground, we'll be right back here in the studio.
There you go.
Always a pleasure to have you on board. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us on the web 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes, indeed. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel, he is a happy camper, no doubt about it. And you better believe it, friends, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. We'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to Happy Camper Radio.